What's going on, guys and girls? It's Ghost Robo, and welcome to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yes, the Assassin's Creed game that was just unveiled at Ubisoft's conference. I have it here for you in beautiful 4K direct feed. I got to fly up to Quebec and play the game at the studio developing it, and it was a whole bunch of fun. 2 characters and the Greek setting that you now know to be the home of this year's Assassin's Creed. We're going to dive in and see it for ourselves. If you guys want to see more, let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button. I will bring it your way. We're going to start off as Alexios. I'll bring you footage of the girl main character later. For now, let's dive in and see what this game is all about.
I never thought Poseidon's anger would be too much for the mighty Alexios' stomach.
That storm was more than just anger, Barnabas. That was personal. Malaka.
Ah, the Delos Islands. 2 sides of the same coin. Delos, sacred birthplace of Artemis and Apollo. And Mykonos, where people do everything that's forbidden on Delos.
Read me the note again.
Eagle-bearing Mystios. That's you. Otharkis, cruel leader of Delos Islands, takes money from our pockets and food from our mouths, all to feed his
Insatiable.
Yes! His insatiable thirst for power.
Podarkis is one of them, Barnabas. The ones hunting my family. Keep reading.
We are a modest but fierce group of rebels who'd pay you handsomely to help us overthrow our vile oppressor. I pray the winds guide you swiftly to our shores, Mystios. Our people are dying. Signed, Kira.
We arrived just in time to help.
You see, Poseidon wasn't trying to drown you. He was getting you where you needed to go. Aggressive.
Does the note say where Kira is?
There are 2 locations marked. A camp along the northwestern coast and a hideout that looks like it's underneath the city.
Podarkis sounds like a cruel man.
He's worse. I once heard a family was late in paying their dues to the gods. Potharki sent his men to their farm and took the young ones from their beds. When their mater and pater woke up to feed the animals, they discovered the animals were already feeding on the corpses of their sons.
The sooner I send this monster to Hades, the better.
Even Hades would shudder in his presence.
This place seems nice.
This island has a giant history, my friend.
We don't have time, Barnabas.
I meant Mykonos literally has a history involving giants. Apollo was once friends with Hyperboreans from the snowy north. Until one day, they sent 2 maidens and 5 of their men to Delos with offerings for the son of Zeus. They were never seen again.
And Mykonos?
The island itself was built from the corpses of giants slain by the legendary Iraklis.
It's time I met with this Kira.
I'll have the ship ready in case we need any immediate departures.
That was Kefalonia. And that was mostly your fault.
Ha! Here, Alexios.
Here, Varnavas.
Alrighty, you got your first taste of the new conversation system. Dialogue choices are in, as they look to expand upon the RPG elements of Assassin's Creed Origins. They definitely use the foundation of Origins to lay the groundwork for this game, but then they wanted to expand and double down on RPG elements. And it shows up in not only the dialogue and the story decisions, but also in the combat as well, which we'll touch on in a bit. First, we're looking for 2 hideouts and the 2 main NPCs of these islands, Kira and Teletas. They will help guide our journey, and they provide a 2-pronged path with 2 different sets of missions, one more naval and one more land-based, that will help us eventually reach Podarkes, who is sort of the big bad of these islands. You'll notice that it's very similar to AC Origins mechanically. A lot of the elements, in fact most of the elements, carry over, and even though I don't expect to see Bayek in this game, they definitely wanted to do something that was close in terms of proximity and in terms of style, so that they could expand upon rather than having to build completely from scratch. The game has been in development for 3 years. They've been working on it for a while, and they got some of the foundations from Origins early on, and then were able to sort of work together with that team to build this game. Now we're heading over to one of the hideouts, and there you'll get to see combat for the first time. They've added a bunch of abilities, so combat is much more chainable. It's much more video gamey, I guess. Not that it wasn't already, but as we cruise through these gorgeous beaches, I think the game looks fantastic in 4K. All the lush vegetation, the colors, really, really remarkable. But they added these abilities, like the Spartan kick you saw in the initial teaser, and there's one where you can light your sword on fire, or you can stomp a shockwave, or you can throw down a stun. It's interesting that they've merged more of these, I guess, RPG-style powers with the traditional sword and shield combat. In fact, they've removed the shield because they want you to go ham, and they want you to use those abilities to be very aggressive. In fact, there even is an ability where you can rip the shield straight from an opponent and chuck it away so they can't even defend themselves, which I really find that one to be super beneficial. There is a boat, and of course boats are back. Naval combat and traversal is in, which we'll get to see later on as well. But first, a little bit of fighting. You got this Spartan-Athenian conflict going on here, which is pretty darn cool, and I think it's interesting. I was mentioning to the team up in Quebec that the year God of War removes Greek mythology, right? They go Norse mythology. AC is incorporating all of the Greek mythology. I just think that's sort of an interesting turn of events. Probably completely random, but kind of a cool aside nonetheless. Okay, let's pull out that bow and start blazing some fools. There's also abilities on your arrows, so you can fire stronger arrows and things of that sort. The abilities are interchangeable. You will be unlocking them throughout skill trees and equipping the sets that you want. There's a different set for your melee combat and then your ranged combat, as this guy says, hey, your abilities mean nothing if we stab you. It took me a little bit to get readjusted to the Origins style combat. It does feel basically the same in terms of pace as that, although I would say it's a bit faster given the fact that you are chaining more and more together. You do have the ability to merge those abilities I was mentioning, like that right there, the Spartan kick. You saw the shield throw, as well as your light and heavy attacks, and just sort of wreck through your opponents. There are big scale battles as well, which hopefully I'll be able to show you, because those are pretty nifty and a nice inclusion to the game. Again, it's Assassin's Creed Origins in Greece with 2 main characters, and it's built out. There's also more like exploration, I would say. Like there's some missions where they say, oh, go over here and find this. It's north of this region, or it's you know, to the west of this such and such place. And so it does feel like they want you to be a little bit more you know, kind of like you're forging your own path. You are your own character. That was such a big point that they made up at the studio, that they want you to feel like it is your journey. And the dialogue obviously plays a big part of that, the character selection, but also how you approach the world, and the fact that there are different missions and different outcomes is going to really impact your play style and your experience of Odyssey. Alright, we got to finish off this last fighter so we can talk to Teletas and see if we want to align with him or Kira. Let's grab that headshot, say goodnight, and finish this fool off with the heavy stab. Again, if you played Origins, this is going to feel like bread and butter to you. Hello, sir. Please dismount the horse. Let's speak. Teach me your ways, and tell me about Podarkes and the terrors he's wreaked upon these islands.
You fight well. Spartan?
I was, but that was a long time ago.
Spartan blood is eternal, stranger.
Alexios.
Ah, Kira
Was.
our ship
We've all lost friends to this war. We can mourn together, but first I need to find Kira.
What do you want with her?
Kira sent me a note. I'm here to kill Podarkes.
She's clever. Sparta got the same note. I will help Kira reclaim these islands.
Just don't forget who helped you reclaim this beach.
Alright, so in the interest of time, skipping through a little bit of that dialogue so that we can go see Kira in this video and get you more gameplay. Basically, he was just establishing, hey, here's what's going on, let's go find Kira and let's powwow and decide what we're gonna do. So the horse is back, the bird brain is back, as you saw. You're gonna be spotting targets from above, and these islands were much more lush and mountainous, and I'm curious to see once we get to bigger cities and get to experience some of that more traditional Greek architecture and see how much the mythology is really embedded in the game. It seems like it is quite a bit. In that opening cutscene with Barnabas, you got to hear them mention Hades and other heroes, Poseidon, so I am curious if there will be some more mythical missions or ways in which the game incorporates the Greek gods beyond the traditional political and military conflicts that Assassins usually deals with.
I'm looking for the one called Kira. I've come in response to a call for help. You missed.
Are you here to spy, Athenian? Or maybe you are Athena herself, dressed in a dirty disguise?
Sure, I'm a god. You think it's wise to throw blades first and ask questions later?
Podarkes and his men have been hunting and killing us without mercy. His spies are everywhere. He won't rest until all who oppose him are dead. We are all that's left of the resistance. This is the first night we aren't fighting for our lives. And it could be our last. And suddenly, you show up.
This is why I'm here. It's your symbol, right?
You're the Mystios who bears the eagle of Zeus? My apologies. These are dangerous times for anyone waging war against the Athenian Empire and the Delian League. I am Kira.
I came here to help you deal with one man, not go to war.
Which is why I sent word of a rebellion to the mighty Alexios, and Sparta too.
Someone say Sparta?
You're alive!
How are your men?
Alive as well. Thanks to you.
You've met?
How long till Podarkes finds us? We're right under his nose.
His nose is so high.
We know where
That's a terrible...
the Spartan...
Not when there's only 12 of you.
All you do is...
And we will. Alexios...
I like the way the Spartan thinks. But we don't have enough swords to fight them head-on.
What do you suggest?
When I arrived, I saw Spartan ships. Can we get a message to them?
Not while the Athenian navy surrounds these islands.
We need those reinforcements.
I got the two of you here to actually help the rebellion, not to send more people to their deaths.
Kira, wait.
While the two of you compare swords, I'll be at the Temple of Artemis, making an actual plan.
She has fight. I like it.
I'm going back to my camp and my men.
Kere. This is going to be a long rebellion.
Alrighty, so again, in the interest of time, move through that a little bit faster than normal. But now you get to decide who you want to help. And one is a more, like I said, offensive sea naval battle approach, and one is a little bit more stealthy. And you get to decide, and your decisions and your dialogue choices will impact the outcome of some of these characters. I don't want to spoil it because I think I can show it to you, but the way that Kira's story on these islands wraps up, it can be dramatically different, like crazy different in how that ends, which I thought was pretty darn nifty. And I'm curious how your decisions will impact the overall plot line. Given that this is, more of a side island type experience, I wonder, are there multiple endings? Are there options and abilities for you to affect major characters within the game, or how does it all factor in? You definitely can affect how you romance these characters. You can romance either Kira or Teletas as either the guy or girl, and you can push those pretty far or not far at all, depending on what you want. I do think the game looks real pretty. Origins obviously look great, and this one looks mighty fine as well. Maybe the characters aren't as fantastic as they could be, just in terms of mouth movement and whatnot, but the environments themselves do look awesome.
Alexios, I didn't think you'd come here after calling my plan a suicide mission.
And miss your speech? Never.
Athenians give speeches. Spartans give orders.
Your men are brave, but they won't be enough. We need those reinforcements.
They'd never get here alive. The Athenian navy is too powerful, and our ship is at the bottom of the sea.
Mine isn't.
You'd confront them in open waters? Not sure if you're brave or just mad.
The Adrestia and I have faced greater challenges than a few Athenian ships.
You fight like Achilles reborn. But even you couldn't defeat the entire navy.
But if I sink enough ships, the Spartans can get through.
There's something else. A helmet was left on board my ship. It was my brother's.
I'll sink the ships, but I'm not making any promises about a helmet. So the helmet from your pater means a lot to you.
It does. He pried it from his butter on the battlefield of Thermopylae.
You've been here long enough. How many ships protect Delos?
You'll never sink them all. We just need to punch a hole in their patrols, enough to send them scrambling.
The sharks will have full bellies when I'm done.
Alrighty. Battle on the Big Blue Sea time it is. We are going to go grab our ship and get out there. Now, the ship is a big part of Odyssey. You will be upgrading it, and you will be expanding your crew. You can recruit just about anybody and add them to your ship. Now, obviously, certain NPCs and major characters will not leave their livelihood just to help you out, but I think it's a pretty cool system, and it will help you as you decide how you're going to shape your ship and the way that you fight out there on the sea. Now, I'm also curious how they're going to sort of reinvent Skull and Bones. I know that game got delayed, but given that AC is getting naval back again, how do you make Skull and Bones feel separate, and how do you make it feel like a worthy package on its own without just, oh, hey, they ripped the ship combat out of Assassins again, and I don't know, I guess we'll see more at E3, or we've already seen more at E3, but we are going to board our boat and get on with it. So every time you approach your boat, you can call your boat, basically fast travel to your boat, and then you head up here and you command your crew. You're ready to go. This is where you will guide things. They're telling us about some of the fire attacks that are usable from this ship. And if you guys want to see the ship combat and more of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, definitely let me know. Hit that like button. I got a lot more footage I will bring your way. What do you think of the game? Let me know that as well. I'm curious, how do you guys feel about AC returning to an annual release, moving to Greece, giving you 2 characters, and doubling down on the RPG elements? Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you had a fantastic day in E3. Drink so much, I love you. And until next time, enjoy the singing, and we will see you all later.